I'm Abigail Osry.
And I'm Emily Osry. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 20 of El Camino Reality.
This week we cover the Holocaust Survivor Assembly,
Introduce you to a new teacher,
tell you about a student who hit the jackpot recently, and of course, toss it over to Josh Schaefer for this week's sports wrap-up. Last Tuesday, several classes gathered in Anderson Hall to have a conversation with the Holocaust survivors.
Nash McReynolds and Gary Galengian covered the meaningful assembly.
On Tuesday, students attended an assembly of Sonia Pearl, grandmother of Maya, and Gil Zonenstein, who is a Holocaust survivor that lives in Israel. She shared her experiences of what it was like during the Holocaust with the students.
And I went there, but the Nazi was standing, and one Nazi speak a little Hungarian, because then I cannot speak other language. And he asked me if this is my mother, and I told yes. And he told me that I go with my mother. And I went.
We interviewed Mrs. Carter, who was an organizer of the event, and some of the students that attended.
I have never spoken to a Holocaust survivor before. This was the first time I've ever talked to one. I thought she was a little bit hard to understand, and I was worried about the students understanding what she said, but I think they got the gist, and I think it was powerful and moving for a lot of them.
Tuesday was my first time speaking to a Holocaust survivor. It was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. It was, it's a lot different than hearing it than it is reading it in a textbook.
It was pretty special because there's not too many of them left, so you got to take it for granted.
I think the students were moved, and they appreciated hearing her story, and they also told me that they were surprised how similar her story was to Elie Wiesel's story because of Reading Night by Elie Wiesel. So, they thought that was really interesting that her story was so in line with his.
Very descriptive, and it was very informational. It really shows us what the Nazis were like.
I like the assembly. It was really informational, and I'm really glad I went.
There aren't very many Holocaust survivors left in the world anymore, so it's always a big pleasure and a privilege to speak to one. For El Camino Reality, this is Nash McReynolds.
And now Nash McReynolds, Maddie Morrow, and Jennifer Burstein introduce you to our new instrumental music teacher, Ms. Chavez Laura.
El Camino is known for many things, sports, academics, but also our music program. Our school has recently found a new instrumental music teacher that will bring us new trophies for our trophy case.
I've been teaching for about 4 to 6 years, so on and off, different things.
Ms. Chavez Laura she's a really good teacher. She definitely knows what she's talking about, and she's only been here a few weeks, like 2 weeks, and we've already learned a lot.
Ms. Chavez is lucky enough to have worked with places like West Adams Charter High School, LACSA, and the Youth Orchestra of LA.
I was really looking for an opportunity to grow myself, and I found this job posting, and I thought it was really perfect because they offered strings, they offered jazz band, concert band, marching band, and then also guitar. And I said to myself, well, I can do all those things, and I'm going to see, throw my hat there and see if I can join.
When she conducts, we know what she's doing, and the way that she carries herself, she's very confident. She's really passionate about music, so she makes us passionate about what we're playing.
With the students, I hope to just take them up musically.
She actually gives us hard music that are actually challenging, and we actually work on them, and then some of the people doesn't know how to do it, so I think she really helps us.
Ms. Chavez will bring home more trophies for our music department. From El Camino Reality, this is Jennifer Burstein.
Emily, hey, we're filming.
Oh, sorry, I was just daydreaming about floating down the canal in Venice with my new flat-screen TV once I win the Wheel of Fortune one day.
Okay, well, I'm not sure when that's going to happen to you, but I do know of a student here who just won a lot of money on that game show.
Bethany Ramirez and Yanira Montoya tell you more.
The Wheel of Fortune has been on air for 30 years, but this time our own student John Ramirez got the chance to participate in the show.
And it was just like a fun experience. Like the people were so fun to be with, and they were just saying like, be loud, have a fun time, and you're like on a game show, you're winning money. So it's like, yeah, you're thinking about the money, but it's also like, I'm gonna be on TV, I'm gonna have like fun spinning the wheel, because Wheel of Fortune is like a very fun game. It's very interactive, so you're talking with the host, and then you're also talking with the people next to you, so that was fun.
Well, I was pretty shocked to actually see someone from El Camino on Wheel of Fortune, so it was kind of shocking.
I was surprised and happy to see one of our El Camino students participate in a show that I didn't think much people watch anymore at this age.
I didn't know, I just watched Wheel of Fortune, so just ended up seeing him on the commercials when Nick's showing.
Well, my mom just like watches the show like every day, and like sometimes I watch it with her. So we watch as a family, and she asked me like, hey, like you should sign up to be in it. And I was like, oh, maybe in a few years. And this was in middle school. And then my mom got an email saying that Teen's Best Friend Week is going to be in January. So she was like, why don't you just audition for fun?
I thought he was going to go far. He was a pretty good team, and he was there with his best friend, Bella, and they were doing really well.
I would, because for the Wheel of Fortune game, you have to like spin to like say consonants and vowels, and sometimes I spun too many, and I would get bankrupt and I would lose a turn. So then I would go back and maybe just change, like maybe just like one less turn, so that I can maybe get more money. But it was like nothing else, because like I had a lot of fun with my friend and we won a lot of money. So.
Unfortunately, he did not win, but he won over $16,000 in cash and other prizes, including a trip to St. Thomas and Virgin Islands. For El Camino Reality, this is Bethany Ramirez.
And now let's toss it over to Josh Schaefer for this week's sports wrap-up.
Thanks, Emily. On Wednesday, the girls' varsity soccer team was defeated by rival Taft by a final score of 3-1. Sierra Withers scored the lone goal, continuing her free kick dominance with this gem early in the second half. On Wednesday, the boys' varsity soccer team defeated Taft 3-1, while the girls' varsity basketball team defeated Taft 63-27. After getting within 5 points in the final 2 minutes of the game, the ECR boys' varsity basketball team was unable to complete a comeback, dropping the game to the Taft Toreadors by a final score of 69-61. On Friday, the girls' varsity soccer team was defeated by Cleveland by a final score of 1-0. This week, they'll play Birmingham on Wednesday and Chatsworth for senior night on Friday. The boys' soccer team drew with Cleveland 1-1 on Friday. This week, they'll have senior night on Wednesday against Birmingham and an away game on Friday at Chatsworth. The girls' varsity basketball team continued their league dominance on Friday with an 80-25 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers. This week, they will play Birmingham on Wednesday and have senior night at home on Friday against Chatsworth. The boys' varsity basketball team had a bounce-back win versus Cleveland on Friday, a final score of 79-54. This week's performance of the week goes to ECR basketball's Troy Bigelow, who had 21 points in the victory over the Cavaliers. Last Wednesday was National Signing Day, and Shelby Vassich from the girls' varsity soccer team signed with Catawba College. On Thursday, Kari Richardson from ECR girls basketball signed with San Diego Christian. This week on Wednesday, we'll have an ECR live broadcast for the boys' varsity basketball game on Wednesday, which is senior night versus Birmingham. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at ECR_live for news and updates about when and where our next broadcast will take place. For El Camino Reality, I'm Josh Schaefer.
From all of us on the crew of El Camino Reality, wishing you a safe Valentine's Day with those you love. Stay sharp, conquistadors.
Don't forget to tell your friends. Check us out on YouTube or at ecrjournalism.com.